Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nidus Anarchy series. I'm your host Adam, the CIO of Nidus, and today we have kind of a bombshell from Okta. The CSO has just announced that it wasn't 1% of the data that was breached back in October, it was actually 100%. Check it out. Back in October, Okta reported a breach that they said only affected 134 users, that's less than 1% of all their customers. But they were wrong. Way wrong. In fact, the attackers were able to steal every customer support client's information. All of them. Within everyone that's part of their Okta support system was breached. So this is quote from the actual press release that came out this morning. We have determined that the threat actor ran and downloaded a report that contained the names and email addresses of all Okta customer support systems users. All Okta Workforce Identity Cloud and Customer Identity Solutions customers are impacted, except for customers in our FedRAMP, High, and DoD IL4 environments. These environments use a separate support system not accessed by the threat actor. The Auth0 CIC support case management system was also not impacted by this incident. Here's exactly what they're able to get on every single one of their support clients. It's not just name and email like you're seeing. Creation date, last login, full name, username, email, company name, user type, address, date of last password change or reset, role name and descriptions, phone numbers, mobile cell phone numbers, time zone, and SAML Federation ID. That last one kind of concerns me because you know this is going to go to phishing, right? And if they have that SAML ID, that's something where it's like, oh, well, only Okta would know that. So that's that kind of information right there that's going to get people to believe in whatever phished emails or social engineering is going to take place, which is going to be huge. Additionally, Okta said that the attackers also downloaded other reports and support cases which contain contact information of Okta certified users and some Okta customer identity cloud contacts and other information. Oh, and some Okta employee information was also stolen. They don't really go into the details on that, but it was a much bigger breach than the 1% that they originally stated, right? Now let's talk about this. So what they also stole were support case data. So support cases, it may seem like kind of weird, like, oh, you're just learning about people's problems, but not really, because in those support cases are vulnerabilities that people have found. That's talking about their server names, it's got IP addresses, it may even have credentials in there people accidentally shared what they shouldn't have. Those support cases have massively confidential information that will easily allow attackers to breach their systems a lot of the times. So if you have support cases, you might want to go through them and see what systems, what actual identifiable information to servers that you've put in there, you might want to lock those down or even change them altogether because they may have been breached. We don't know yet. I don't know if they've reached out to individual clients to let them know, hey, your support detail have been stolen. I don't know. But I would assume that it has and take precautions accordingly. Okta stated that the attackers did not get user credentials or sensitive personal information, although I'm curious as to exactly what sensitive personal data means since they did get full name, address, cell phone number, and SAML Federation IDs. So there's personal information there. So it's kind of a weighted thing. I'm guessing their lawyers said to say that one. They also stated that for 99.6% of all the users in the report, that all they got was full name and email address. So it's not the end of the world for majority of people, but they have email and they have your name, and they're going to be sending you an email shortly about how they need you to give them something because they're from Okta support and they're trying to prevent you from another breach or something. So be wary there. They haven't reportedly seen any active attacks using this information yet. That doesn't mean it's not happening, right? I mean, the world is huge. The data's out there. They might be delaying to use the information or selling it. Who knows? And honestly, someone's probably going after it right now. I think we can all see where this is going, though. This is going to be a massive social engineering, phishing, social media attack that's about to happen. I mean, I would be wary, and I would put every single one of your employees, if you have Okta, on alert that anything that looks like it's coming from Okta or anything that mentions the word Okta in it, that it needs to be handled with extreme caution, right? I mean, this is going to be huge. You're going to be seeing it happen everywhere in bulk. So let's cut to the big question. What can Okta customers do today to keep safe? So if you have Okta, what can you do to prevent from further attack happening to you? So first off, implement MFA if you haven't done it already. I'm pretty sure everyone uses MFA out there. I mean, Okta says that 96% of their clients use it. But if you're one of those 4% or you're not using it because you don't think you need it, you need to do that today. Like right now, that should be a mandatory production thing. Put in that change order. If you have to, put in the policies in place to force everyone to do it. You need to start using MFA 100% of the time for all of your admin logins, at least right now. Make sure to have phishing resistant email notifications. So if you have, that the email systems in place where it puts the big red bar, yellow bar across the top, it says, this email is external, do not trust it, that kind of stuff. If you don't have that, start looking into putting those in place. Okta says to use Okta Verify FastPass. Personally, I would suggest that you use a non-Okta alternative. Given all the recent breaches, I don't know if I would necessarily trust them to be my multi-layered for authentication proof. I'd want to use something third-party external of Okta at this point. Okta also recommends you use FIDO2 web authentication or PIV CAT cards. I mean, that's great, but do you know how long that's going to take to implement? I mean, we're talking months to do that, and the cost to push out CAT cards, everyone, not going to happen. Let's be realistically. It's just not going to happen. So, but hey, do it if you want to. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back to make you have the excuse to go out and do it. There, well, now you got it. Okta also recommends to enable admin session binding. So that's an early access feature within Okta that requires admins to re-authenticate if their session is reused from an IP with a different ASN, which is an autonomous system number. So they're kind of watching where those logins are coming from. If they notice a discrepancy, they're going to force re-authentication. You should turn that on right now. Admin session timeout. So to align with the NIST AAL3 of the Authentication Assurance Level 3 guidelines and increase security posture of every customer, Okta are introducing admin console timeouts that will be set to a default of 12-hour session durations and 15-minute idle times. Customers will have the option to edit these settings. They'll be available as early access features starting November 29th, which is today of this recording, for preview orgs, and December 4th for production orgs. The feature will be available for all production orgs by January 8th of next year of 2024. Okta also strongly recommends that customers review their IT help desk verification process and ensure that the appropriate checks such as visual verification are performed before performing high-risk actions such as password or factor resets on privileged accounts. I think this qualifies as a no shit statement, but this is exactly how the MGM breach hatched, right? And it's all about the customer support. Whoever they were using for customer support, I really hope they're fired, and they should put them on blast so other people know not to use them personally. A lot of articles reporting on this like to end in the article noting that Okta stock dumped almost 10% this morning with the news, but as of this afternoon, it's already higher than yesterday's opening price, so it doesn't really affect the price too much, but it definitely took a shock. It looks like a massive buy happened this morning as well, pretty much within like a 1 to 2 minute time span when you look at the charts. I'm pretty sure as Okta attempted to try to save the price by just buying all the stocks as it was dumping down to try to save their stock price. If you want to look at something more shocking from a stock price action with Okta, look at what happened since the breach back in October. They've dropped almost 20% since then. And if you go back to November of 21, so basically just 2 years ago, they're down almost 75% and they're holding at that part, right? So if you're looking at Okta as an investment strategy, I don't know, is it the time to buy? Buy low, but who knows? Are they going to go lower? We'll see. I've already had clients ask me what they think this means for Okta, and are the clients going to rip and replace something else? I don't think so. I think the product still works great. I don't see companies spending hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars buying something else and then spending the time replacing it all out. What I do see happening is that for companies looking to buy Okta or renew, they may have a change of heart. There's been a lot of bad news around Okta, and in the past couple months, I don't envision many CIOs, CISOs betting their career on a product that's been in the headlines so much for access breaches, when that's exactly what their products are meant to prevent. Maybe Okta should take a note out of their own playbook and look inwards on implementing these highly suggested changes to prevent breaches. They're really good at saying what you should do now that they've already messed up, right? So maybe eat your own dog food. That's it for today. If you have any questions or want to know more information, leave me a comment below or hit me up on email, adam@nidus.com. You can follow us on all the social media platforms. We're on Twitter, X, TikTok, Spotify podcasts, Audible, Apple Podcasts. We're on LinkedIn for the videos, YouTube for the videos. We're pretty much everywhere you want to be. Just find us at Nidus IAM, Nydis IAM. Feel free to hit me up. I'm going to be trying to attend as many conferences as possible as well, or meetups. If you have one anywhere in the US or in the world, I got a passport and willing to travel. Hit me up. I'd love to come out and talk. It'd be kind of fun. In the meantime, stay safe out there and don't trust anyone. If you are an Okta customer, you need to assume that the entire world is going to be coming after your environment. So take heed, take warning, but also be prepared. See you guys around. Later.